Hey everybody. So if you've been around my channel for any reasonable amount of time, you'll almost certainly be familiar with the name Bruno Powroznik. For those of you who don't know, Bruno was an enigmatic internet personality who frequented housing market forums and produced a number of strange YouTube videos throughout the mid-2000s. He rose to popularity around late 2019, when one of his half-decade-old videos resurfaced and began making the rounds on the web. In October of that year, I saw objects that I have shoved up my arse and made the strange choice to create a video investigating the origins of the man behind it. This video proved to be my most successful, and to this day the video and its follow-up are what I'm still most known for. However, as some of you may be aware, the mystery, as it is, has essentially run its course. We know most everything about Bruno that we ever set out to know, and anything further would really just be an invasion of privacy. So, as a final send-off and a way to wrap up this strange story, I'm going to be taking a look at an almost complete documentation of Bruno's activities, ordered from widely known to obscure. Today, we are going to be doing a dive into the Bruno Powroznik Iceberg. So just as a primer for some of you who aren't aware, an iceberg chart is a diagram that groups aspects of a person, thing, or idea from most known to least known. At the surface we have famous, widespread, or otherwise well-known ideas. In the shallows just beneath the surface we have ideas that one would have to look a little deeper to find. The trend continues like this until we reach the depths, where we'll find the most obscure, and often the most disturbing, facets of the subject. Now, of course, this chart isn't a particularly disturbing one, but it is quite comprehensive and I'll do my best to explain everything on it. Let's begin with the surface. Objects I have shoved up my arse. Obviously, everyone knows this. It's the video that catapulted Bruno into the public eye, and it's become quite famous over the last few years. You can probably guess what it's about. Margaret Thatcher is dead. Similar in popularity to the previous entry, Bruno celebrates the death of Margaret Thatcher with some choice words. Again, not much to say. A message from Satan. Here we see the first instance of a trend that will play out over the course of this iceberg. Bruno seemed to have a strange fascination with the devil, and it was a topic he returns to many times. As for the video itself, Bruno poses as the devil while making a number of threats. Bruno is an open homosexual. This is likely in reference to the common idea that Bruno was, as you may have guessed, homosexual. A large portion of his content, along with a number of statements and forum posts, lend credence to this idea, but it's impossible to really know for sure. And with those out of the way, we move on to level 1. PSYCHOBABBLE, a slightly less popular but no less entertaining Bruno Powroznik classic. Bruno uses a repetitive call and response to deride STRs, something we'll get to soon. Brown Action. Another classic, again a bit more obscure, but still remarkably enthralling for a video that consists solely of a man shouting brown action. The Great Release That Death Will Bring. Continuing with the trend, The Great Release That Death Will Bring is another hidden gem in which Bruno discusses his longing for death, followed by his justification for this strange desire.
Death cannot come soon enough.
David E. David E. is a YouTube channel that became well known primarily for his re-uploads of Objects and Margaret Thatcher. David E. had no real connection to Bruno and eventually returned to his channel in 2020 to express his surprise. I Love Sex. Yet another classic video, like the ones before, but noteworthy for being the first we see in Bruno's trend of overly sexual videos, if you exclude Objects. Again, you can probably guess what this video is about. Gay and Proud of It. In this video, Bruno talks about being, as you may have guessed, gay and proud of it, following his statement with a few disjointed phrases. This video and others like it have contributed to the confusion many have over whether or not Bruno was actually homosexual. Sell to renters, STRs. STRs are a topic that Bruno returned to more than almost any other. Also known as sell and rent back, sell-to-renting is a process through which a house is sold but rented by the seller. For a number of reasons relating to the housing market, Bruno greatly disliked STRs. And with that, we transition to level 2. I have trouble chatting up women. In this surprisingly entertaining video, Bruno describes his many difficulties interacting with women. Gay Britain. As expected, this video consists entirely of Bruno's remarks on being gay in Britain, told in his typically expressive fashion. Sell to Rent. Sell to Rent was a smaller YouTube channel that uploaded a few more of Bruno's lesser-known videos around 2008. Although Sell to Rent is the only channel yet to resurface, it's all but known at this point that the channel was run by a member of the housing forum Bruno frequented. Every Night is Buggery Night. One of my personal favorites, this video is a surprisingly obscure masterpiece in which Bruno speaks on one of his favorite topics. This one really has to be seen to be understood. I Am Mental. This is a video in which Bruno talks about being mentally unwell. This video highlights a trend in Bruno's strange story, namely that when it comes to topics like this, it remains somewhat difficult to tell when he is actually being serious. Are you a heterosexual? In this likely satirical video, Bruno remarks on how being heterosexual is wrong. Housing market claims. A lesser known but highly important facet of Bruno's behavior was his fascination with the housing market. Bruno was an avid speculator and was known to make a number of claims about the future of the market, ranging from ordinary to insane. Helmet cheese. You know, I'm not even going to explain this one. Bruno is straight. This is the natural counterpart to the Bruno's homosexual theory. Bruno made many statements for and against both of these ideas, making the line between them quite hazy. Stunley Andwin. Stunley Andwin is a YouTube channel that surfaced soon after Bruno's initial surge in popularity, and uploaded a number of previously unseen Bruno videos. They were able to help me considerably with gaining information for my follow-up video. And that is the end of level 2. Next up, level 3. In the Flesh. In the Flesh is an interesting video in which we are shown numerous photos of Bruno in a slideshow-like fashion. Bruno's bedroom. In keeping with the previous video, Bruno's bedroom is another slideshow, this time showing Bruno's admittedly quite decrepit bedroom. A Message from an Alien. Taking after A Message from Satan, this video features Bruno posing as an alien bent on destroying the Earth. Background in real estate. Bruno has somewhat hazy credentials when it comes to the housing market. Strangely, he has been credited as a housing market expert, but his actual qualifications are unclear. Free Bruno Powroznik. Free Bruno Powroznik is the name of a YouTube channel, and subsequently a video, centered around remixes of Bruno's content. FBP created a number of comedy shorts and music videos crafted from Bruno's original videos, and one such video was Free Bruno Powroznik, an instrumental plea for Bruno's release parodying Free Nelson Mandela.
Free Bruno Powroznik.
4 Horsemen. In this obscure video, Bruno describes the biblical 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Bruno likes a-ha. This refers to the unusual inclusion of several a-ha songs and other 80s pop in a few of Bruno's videos. Next, we arrive at level 4. Bruno's girlfriend, Sarah. In this video, Bruno wears a wig and poses as his own girlfriend, Sarah. What kind of women do you prefer? This video features Bruno talking about what traits many prefer in women, interspersed with his typical exclamations. A typical STR. This video follows another of Bruno's rants against STRs, in which he proceeds to mock and deride them in a variety of ways. BrunoPow.150m.com. BrunoPow150m was a small website created around 2008 in which Bruno made a number of large claims, most notably that the UK housing market would never fail. House price crash pub meeting. The HPC pub meeting was a 2008 meetup by members of a housing forum. Most notably, it was the subject of numerous violent threats from Bruno. Bruno the WEIRDO'S finally been suspended. Strangely enough, this is in fact just an alternate title for Bruno's bedroom, as uploaded on Sell to Rent. Bruno is a paranoid schizophrenic. Bruno seemed to have paranoid delusions at times, leading many to believe that he may have had an underlying mental illness, possibly schizophrenia. Possible planned mass shooting that led to arrest. As stated by Free Bruno Powroznik, a video entitled "The Massacre at the House Price Crash Pub Meeting" led many to believe Bruno was threatening to shoot up the pub. It is possible that for this, Bruno was arrested. We sink further down to level 5. r/Bruno Powroznik. r/Bruno Powroznik is a small subreddit that was created in the wake of Bruno's initial popularity. The subreddit features a variety of content and is still somewhat active to this day. Memes about Bruno and his beliefs. This is exactly what it says on the tin. Particularly on the aforementioned subreddit, memes centered around Bruno and his antics can often be seen. The Many Faces of the Devil. The Many Faces of the Devil is a peculiar Bruno video in which he shows a slideshow of figures he claims to be the devil. These include Halloween devil masks, Nazi officers, sell-to-renters and property experts, and of course, Margaret Thatcher. Again, we see Bruno's strange emphasis on content related to the devil. Bruno is denying/repressing his attraction to men. We return to the topic of Bruno's unclear sexuality. It has been postulated that, as evidenced by his conflicting and over-exaggerated claims, Bruno created some of his videos to deny or repress his attraction to men. However, again, this is just speculation. Women prefer homeowners. In this video, Bruno describes how women prefer homeowners to STRs. STRs are SCUM 2008 Remix. This aptly named video is a remix created by Free Bruno Powroznik from many of Bruno's quotes. This is just one of the many such remixes FBP created over the years. Next up, level 6. We're getting fairly close to the bottom at this point. housepricecrash.co.uk. House Price Crash is a name that you see time and time again as you follow Bruno's story. HPC was a housing market forum that Bruno frequented in the early 2000s, and even after his departure from the site, he maintained an avid interest in it. My Final Prophecy. My Final Prophecy is a video more ominous than most, one in which we can see evidence of Bruno's delusions as he claims the government is in league with the STRs. The Truth About Britain. In this video, Bruno simply describes how Britain's economy is in shambles. The STRs will not be immune. This video features Bruno warning that STRs will not be immune to an economic crash or recession. The Real Face of Satan. Yet another Satan-themed video in which Bruno reveals that Satan is in fact an STR named Reinhard Schuh. Most Popular Poster. This is in reference to the fact that Bruno often claimed he was voted the most popular poster on House Price Crash. We see this claim again in Free Bruno Powroznik's music video. My Yacht. My Yacht is an obscure and confusing video on the Sell to Rent channel. The video features sped up footage of, as you may have guessed, a yacht, but it's likely the video had nothing to do with Bruno, although we're not certain. Rip Off Britain. In Rip Off Britain, Bruno laments the sad state of affairs in the nation. Taking another step down, we arrive at level 7. There is always hell to pay. In this video, Bruno states that there are always consequences of an economic boom. Homophobic tweets. Bruno's Twitter page, created around 2012, was made to promote one of his new sites. However, the page also contained a number of homophobic statements which seem particularly ironic when some of Bruno's videos are considered. Bruno is transgender. This is a very interesting one. One of Bruno's most bizarre videos is entitled, "I am a woman trapped inside a man's body," in which he claims precisely that he is a woman trapped as a man. This has given rise to the entirely probable belief that Bruno was transgender. The favorite topic of dinner party conversations. This video is quite unique in the scheme of Bruno's usual productions due to its unusual structure. In it, he recalls a dinner party conversation in which many guests lamented selling to rent. Women are the creation of the devil. Again, Bruno alludes to the devil as he claims women were created by the devil to seduce men. Who wrote Kirsty Allsopp's Anti-HPC rant? Kirsty Allsop is a British TV presenter and was a notable figure in the UK housing market landscape around the time Bruno was active. Free Bruno Powroznik notably uploaded a video in which a speech given by Kirsty Allsop was shown to be identical to one given by Bruno. Level 8. Only one step up from the depths. (2007) Something Awful thread. In 2007, an Awful Link of the Day thread on Something Awful featured the BrunoPow.150m site, likely being Bruno's first introduction to individuals outside the UK housing market sphere. The price of gold is going to crash. As expected in this video, Bruno remarks on how the price of gold will soon crash. Jack Straw's Castle. This video features Bruno describing a former pub in Hampstead. Reinhard Schuh. Reinhard Schuh was an STR mentioned in The Real Face of Satan, likely someone Bruno had a disliking for. Gavin Greenway. In a similar vein to Schuh, Gavin Greenway was a member of HPC whom Bruno disliked. Spanish property market. As evidenced by his 2012 site, Bruno believed the Spanish housing market to be quite unstable. Bruno Sympathizers. This is in reference to individuals who believed in Bruno's claims and predictions, either during his initial run or afterwards. And with that, we finally arrive at the depths. This is where we find the most obscure and unusual information, and where we will end the dive. What on earth is going on? This is the title of an October 2004 Daily Telegraph article in which Bruno is referenced as a housing market expert. This is one of the earliest known appearances of Bruno, and certainly his first one outside of HPC. How this happened is entirely unknown, and it's unlikely we'll ever really know for sure. Bruno is aware of his fame. One of the most fascinating theories about this matter is the idea that Bruno may in fact be aware of his fame. He may still frequent the internet, and if so, he would likely be aware of his strange resurgence in popularity. The most interesting thing is, this is entirely possible. Bruno could be watching this video right now, but we have no real way of knowing for sure. Singing pig posts and credit crunch posts. Far more obscure than his activities on the still active house price crash site, Bruno was known to have visited Singing Pig and Credit Crunch, two now defunct housing sites of unknown origin. While his HPC activities have been preserved for all to see, his activity on Singing Pig and Credit Crunch have been completely lost to time. His own YouTube channel. The entire library of available Bruno videos comes from either Sell to Rent, David E., Stunley Andwin, and Free Bruno Powroznik, with a few exceptions. However, it is known that Bruno did in fact have his own channel at some point in the past, and it was from here that these videos originated. Free Bruno Powroznik recalled at least two channels, Call Me Nobod and Bruno Powroznik Again, but it's known that these have both been suspended. However, it's entirely possible that Bruno had another account, or has created one in the time since. Persecution and harassment of anti-STRs. Bruno was known to have mentioned strange occurrences that he believed to have been targeted attacks on him due to his stance against STRs. Now, it's likely this was simply another one of his strange delusions, but stranger things have happened. And here we come to the end of the Bruno Powroznik Iceberg. In truth, we've all been building this iceberg over the past year, and it's gone much deeper than we ever thought it would. But I would have to agree that we have well and truly hit the bottom. Although his activities continue to bring entertainment and amusement, the mystery of Bruno Powroznik draws to a close. But remember to keep your eyes open, because we never truly know when a new enigmatic figure from days gone by will decide to resurface. Thanks for watching.